We've got one more map for you guys left here at the DreamHack Open Summer 2020 North American coverage, brought to you by Scrawny and Vince. My dude, I thought Overpass was going to be done quick, Vince. Oh, was I wrong? And now I don't think I know what's going to happen here on Train.
I'm right alongside with you, man, with that ride. I thought, honestly, that Cloud9 were going to put that to bed like 16-7, somewhere on that mark. We'd already be on Train, probably halfway through Train, but TeamOne, again, credit to them. It's the same story that saw them beat Fury on Mirage. I said it was my biggest upset of the entire tournament. I'm sticking with that for the time being. I couldn't believe they pulled it off. And I honestly feel coming through on Train, yeah, they just conceded Overpass. It'll be disappointing. This is a map, though, I think they could get the win on. I'm actually going to slightly edge with TeamOne to take this best of 3 now, but it could easily go either way.
You know, lucky for us, Vince, nobody asks our predictions. I don't think anybody cares, but we do get the chance to share our thoughts, and I'm going to side with you here. I just think that TeamOne, they're on a run in this event. They've already beat Cloud9 in the best of 3. I know that C9 absolutely have a action-packed Train game, so maybe, just maybe, they make us eat our words. But here in the pistol round, we've already got that 3v3 unfolding on the A site. Counter-terrorists about to swoop down from ladder. Perhaps Sonic looks to keep them honest, but there's one kit on the round, and it's right there on the feet of Sonic. As long as he can keep control of ladder room, he's going to rob them of that additional 5-second window. And Barton, he's just sliding up and down the ladder like it's greased. And Sonic, well, he's kind of feeling the heat. Maluk has used this time to double back all the way through T-Con, and Pace is actually crawling on the bomb site already. This is so weird. There's CTs everywhere, but Barton finally gets some sort of a kill. JT needed the quick headshot. Now they're going to be able to close that distance with the kit. And OC, he hones in on the man in the back as Barton splats his face on Old Bomb. Oh boy, a CT side with a pistol round win.
Oh, it was right down to the wire as well. TeamOne sweating that one out until a bitter end, but yes, they do get it done. Great news. Post-plant, though, could have some interesting buys coming in. PRT, excellent hold in the pop dog. Those 2 kills and the bomb drop really put a bit of a stifling blow on the T's aggression. Cloud9 go for the buy. 3 Galils, AK, and Scout. And I know you've already touched on this in the past, but the economy in CS right now, pretty unforgiving for the CTs in so many different aspects, man.
They wait out those first few nades and then decide to crank it up a notch. Malbs on this side of the smoke here, lining up players, dealing with Floppy. But all the while, JT, he has slipped through into the train yard. It's going to be Sonic to answer back, but at the cost of a lot of health. Maluk's able to add a frag to the tally. We're in that even 3v3. JT now looks to activate as Modem drops another body. It's all on Barton. He gets himself 2. It's just one left. OC with the scout shot gets the job done, but my God, does that go down to the wire.
Both rounds have now been an incredibly close start, and this is why I mentioned about the economy. Cloud9 come in with a slightly better buy. Some may argue with those AKs and Galils, and our TeamOne completely reset, have to force themselves. It's such a strange situation where sometimes actually losing the pistol round can be more beneficial than winning and then losing if you're on the CT side. It's so strange to me that we're in that position, but hey, such is the Counter-Strike landscape. They do have enough weapons, though, to maybe return the favor. And Cloud9 feeling their way out. Split up across the map. They're not fully engaging or investing on any one set side, but they are just feeling things out, seeing if one get aggressive. If they push into some of these crosshairs and crossfires, but now it's too scrawny. We're going to have a B execute, and it's coming thick and fast right now.
Barton hops up to the stool. Tries to track Modem, who does get tagged, but not quite bagged. Maluk has his chance with the scout, and, well, a little bit of a miss. They're all lining up for him. There's damage being done, but that 1T up close in the form of Floppy. Oh, he gets over top of the train, clears out the 2 scouts. That's key. PRT, it's his chance to strike, and him and Malbs each with a deagle kill apiece. Then the ramp player falls to Pesa. Another force buy, looking like it gets it just barely over the line. Malbs with the 3-piece. This entire match has been back and forth. There have been streaks and sprees of round wins, but in the bigger picture, it is in the nitty-gritty. And Train begins exactly like it. TeamOne pick up that first force buy win for Cloud9, and the answer from TeamOne immediately. Oh, this doesn't favor the CTs in the long run, but luckily for them, Vince, they have those 3 M4s, a Galil, and sure, there's 1 scout, but if that's your limitation, so be it. And when you compare it to the buy of Cloud9, TeamOne just gained back all the momentum that they thought they had lost.
There should be a bloodbath as well. That Galil, the 35 bullets all being expended, being chunked down from the Molotov. That HG could get a double. This could be it. And Maluk with the double frag from Connector. Softened up by Barton, who did so much work. And yeah, I mean, as you said, coming into that TeamOne, they were able to finally get a little bit of stability, but they got a reprieve as well because Cloud9 couldn't afford to go in for a force. So they at least do stack up a little bit more funds. However, Cloud9, 5 AK-47s, and Maluk still has his scout. But I will turn your attention back to Dust 2, where Maluk's scouting was sensational. We know he can play with his gun. MOTM, though, gonna try and bypass any long-range shenanigans, charging straight out of A main into the smoke. Mobs has the long angle covered, now moving in closer, trying to get towards all-off position. With PRT, aggression, and now Morbs does start to hold down on W. Gets a bit of early success, but then he slips and slides out of it. Pacer stepping up when it's required, and now PRT could be there. Maluk gets splattered in Pop Dog, but it all falls down to JT with a measly 10 HP to his name. Has eyes on bomb, has plenty of time, but no idea where these last 2 pesky counter-terrorists currently reside, and he may get shot down in the back any second now. He's actually managed to wiggle through. Barton didn't check, and he could move through onto the B site.
My God, the timing. JT crossed the first lane as Barton crossed his, and then the exact same thing happens. They mirror each other in that cross. And look at the HP. Obviously, JT, he has a very real chance at this. Counter-Strike is a game of millimeters and milliseconds, and this is a prime example of it. JT ready to light up the last 2 defenders as they try to get this retake rolling. The bomb is planted for him. You can see it on the mini-map on the corner of that B site. So they're going to anticipate that maybe he is deep CT. Look, they're watching it now, and he's wrapped all the way around. He gets the headshot onto Barton. He starts to close the gap closer towards the bomb. There's a smoke on it. He just needs to line up the shot, but it looks like he's going to close the gap, and it's still able to find the final frag. JT, 3 kills, slipping through enemy lines, sabotaging them from behind, and screwing over the momentum they thought they had gotten back. A round he had no business winning.
Oh, TeamOne have got to be gutted. JT, beautiful play, but no right to win that, as you said. And now Maluk peering across his teammate of Pacer, gets neutralized atop the train. Forces back to CTs, but now Malbs standing tall with his deagle. Maluk with the AWP, no, Malbs with another one. OC eviscerated by the Desert Eagle. And MOTM spotting the shoulder, the pixel just round the corner. Now at least has Floppy to help him out, and Floppy, he'll dip in for 2 of his own. Another 2v2 quickly subsides away to Cloud9's favor. And for the 2nd consecutive round, they get their way across the finish line, labored in a clutch. But TeamOne, they'll be ruining these missed opportunities because on another day, Scrawny, they'd be lights out ahead.
Yeah, they would be, Vince. I mean, this is going to be the test to their grit and their determination. We've seen kind of the ripples of it over the course of their few games. This map is either going to break them or make them stronger than ever. And Malbs' deagle on that front A site last round. I mean, so far, this 3rd map is delivered and then some. But I'm just fearful for the momentum that either team could walk away with once these back and forth round wins come to an end. But they have less than ever And again, a 5 versus 3, materializing out of nothing. And yet, once more, Cloud9 look like they have a chance to bring it back because the A site's open. There is opportunities for TeamOne, round after round. Can they manage to close this? 50 seconds. They're going to have that ladder room control as they have 2 CTs on that side of it and another duo working towards the Ivy. Pesa's Mac 10 very quickly swinging out from ladder. He has to go for the reload. OC, 3 kills already to his name. Barton looking to execute out from Z, gets shut down, and Cloud9 survive another rocky road. The suspension on this whip is ridiculous.
The effect it's having additionally on Cloud9's economy is notable. Normally, when a team comes out with a win streak such as this, you're thinking they're going to have 6 or 7K across the board, but MOTM, 0, 1,000 on floppy. Normally, when a team comes out with a win streak such as this, you're thinking they're going to have 6 or 7K across the board, but MOTM, 0, 1,000 on floppy. Ones honestly you could have won. On another day, you would have won. But can you put that to the back of your mind and focus on the fact that you've also got some success when you probably shouldn't have in the 1,200 on OC? So TeamOne know that they're keeping Cloud9 at arm's reach, and it's difficult to deal with. It's difficult to swallow because you've lost the last 3 rounds, and Cloud9 turning it on in style. Barton, other side of the map, can do little but try and save the pennies that they have. First place, mobs destroyed, disintegrated by floppy, and this is looking a little bit more clear-cut. Molly to the back of the site, affording the luxury of spraying down Malou. Left from this investment. Cloud9, this is one of the most clear-cut rounds that they've had, and it was against a full rifled-up TeamOne.
It's wild to me, Vince, that of all the rounds that just look so clear-cut, it's the one where TeamOne finally have real weapons to work with. So maybe the ridiculousness of some of these starting rounds subsides. Cloud9, 5 rounds to a T side already. But unfortunately, here's my hesitation with Cloud9 and trying to, boost up what has been so far a very convincing T side is some of these rounds were way too close, and I saw what they did on overpass. I saw that 10-3 slide back to an overtime. So I'm not willing to write off TeamOne just yet, especially with a round where they have Deagles, which is arguably where they've done more damage than ever. So let's hang on before we come to any early conclusions. But clearly we all see the score. And we collapse 1-2. Or JT loses his head.
As will TeamOne collectively. PRT gets the consolation kill. He has got the first as well, so he's doubled up. Not too far off landing another potential.
OC going for the big plays. That's 2 kills. Looking for the third up into the office, but that's where JT collapses 1. And PRT.
1 tap. It's about how much damage he can try and inflict, but Cloud9 after that last convincing round are doing pretty well for themselves money-wise, and MOTM is going to make sure there's no more casualties. The reason why I'm not willing to really write off TeamOne until I'd say Cloud9 probably, if they in this half get like where their CT side often looks a little bit suspect, there's a few gaps in their armor, but on T side they just play so aggressive and without any fear that I think, as we saw against Fury on 11 or 12, then I'll probably feel like it may be too far gone. But typically, TeamOne's T side has been better throughout this tournament. I said this in a previous map as well today. When Mirage, they don't care. They don't care who you are. They don't care what reputation you have. They're still going to go for you. They're going to take no prisoners. They're going to be aggressive as hell. And so I want to see if they give themselves enough of a foundation to build off those Scrawny, because as good as their T side might be, if they limp into the next half with like 4 rounds, that may not be good enough.
Most certainly. I think versus Fury is where we really did learn that their T side had some real gusto behind it. So I can side with you here, Vince. I can mirror your sentiment. See if Cloud9's explosion into the B bomb site will be enough. JT looking to lead the charge here. Barton trying to catch one as he swoops down from ladder, and he will. Bottom goes down. Bomb plant on the front side of site. Oh, or not. Floppy, he gets lined up by Malbs. And then we have Barton connecting another op shot, so suddenly this push goes to a stranded JT, and now a wounded JT, falling to the USP. Sonic off of the top rope will get himself 1 kill, but he has 35 seconds left over, and his opponents have his bomb. Tries to go for the slick movement, but instead he slides into the scope of Maluk. One of 2 snipers, both of which move forward. TeamOne, if they're going to put up a CT side, I can very well see it coming off of this double op setup.
That was an interesting one. I almost heard your voice kind of like raise a little bit with intonation when you saw that they were planting at the front of the site, almost in confusion, right? Because it's typically not planted there when you have full control of the site and time for the very reason we saw. It's very susceptible to being smoke banged, and it's a very easy lineup. And once the bomb dropped, not only was an extra player neutralized, the bomb was in a really awkward position. So I'm very confused why that happened. Doesn't really matter though, they can always bounce straight back. He could even pick up the ace, but it's looking unlikely. Sonic on the other side of the map is doing battle with all of his teammates. But Barton is making moves. He's getting Cloud9 and pardon me, in play for Barton. Gonna get 2 kills and a third as well. Floppy's head is removed and Barton's got a 4th. Up close, PRT takes it away, but Barton take a bow. That was beautiful.
Let's get that queued up. Replay, please. 1, a 2, this one. Not even a no-scope. Kill feed says otherwise. Little quick flick. I love op headshots because they're so incredibly unnecessary. Just adds that extra oomph. That one you almost felt, Vince. I know Cloud9 definitely did. And they are left worse for wear. Barton was the star versus Furia on this map, and his teammates did not arrive nearly enough for them to pick up the win. But if ever they stood a chance versus Furia, it's because Barton looked like a god. And he is now 16 and 7. 17 and 7. As he just yet again single-handedly clamps down on this B site. Sure, his teammates are there to help. He's comfortably back behind oil, and it was just pistols. But 4 kills for Barton yet again. 8 frags, 2 rounds. And as said, tied at 6. We've only got 3 more rounds to go before the swapping of the sides, where we think that maybe some of the talent can truly be unleashed for TeamOne. Cloud9, your job is not over yet. You milk this half for as many more as you can get. Luckily, they're back on the bye.
PRT's been flashed about 50 times on his way into Pop Dog as Paster spraying through the smoke, landing the head. Sonic comes out swinging as well with 2 of his own. His entries have been so very important for Cloud9 over the duration of this tournament, but now Paster locking down Floppy. They still find themselves a player behind in terms of manpower, but the HP slightly favors them. OC and Sonic both leg, just trailing underneath the train, and Barton, who else is not gonna miss? He just doesn't have the ability of missing right now. Every shot between struggling. JT, the only healthy player, has already picked up a clutch, and a solid one at that. OC's having a good game, but Pacer spots the shoulder blade, sent the mass. And TeamOne regained the lead.
I was thinking to myself, what's the solution to dealing with Barton? Oh, just go A. But the problem was TeamOne slowed them down long enough for Barton to get into position. He holds off on Z. And then, he distracted OC so that we could see him clawed down by the M4. And then the last 2 terrorists just walk right into that scope. They're going to yet again try to pick up the tempo by charging into the A site. Pesa fully blind. PRT arrives through the side of Ivy Smoke, and it's Pesa on the bomb site itself to start chopping down these terrorists. JT, all that's left over here. Again, trying to play that fast pace, trying to just puncture through with speed. But the flimsy paper plane crashes into the defense. They crumple it up, and take that 8th round with ease. One more to go here on the T side of Cloud9. Another T side, another first half where Cloud9 look like they are in absolute control, only to waver in the last few rounds.
It goes to show why we were not willing to count TeamOne out. When it was 2-6, 3-6, we're thinking they can still do this. It's still doable. Sonic, there's more entries. PRT gonna keep himself alive, being pesky, drawing away the attention of Sonic. So CT's trying to ambush the oncoming terrorists as they clump together, but now, Martin with a collateral! 1 HP remaining. Is the dream alive? No, it's turned into he can't push down Sandwich. He can't get up close and personal, but Pacer overextends, overshows himself, and will be nullified. To a nightmare. 8-7 will be the score at halftime to TeamOne.
The Lord Aurora, Sly Dessen, Director QC, Dank B23, The Lord Aurora, Sly Dessen, Director QC, Dank B23, Billy L, Bots Plays, Fist O Freak. Raw Pog. Ladies and gentlemen, the action continues at the end of our break, and the tournament continues throughout the weekend. But none of this would be here if it wasn't for you. From the bottom of our hearts at DreamHack, we say thank you and enjoy. It's all fun and games, let's be real. But at the same time, we've got a lot on the line between TeamOne and Cloud9. Charge down Ivy. Vince, that's not the best look from him. And I think Sonic actually had an incredible T-half. Some of those entries on the A site were massive. 9. Oh, an 8-7 half. It couldn't be closer. Some of those rounds just materializing out of nowhere. But Sonic, he's going to go ahead and try. Let's see if TeamOne can follow through with the pistol round they've started. Pesa finally going to be able to answer, but it's OC, JT, and Modem with 2. Maluk, all that's left, and he gets cut down. Look at the health that was left on 2 of those 3 CTs as Modem himself gets the 3K. And for one of your big stars, Cloud9, we look at Modem to perform. Because of that 3K, he now has 8 frags, but before it, he only had 5.
he's actually negative kill to death ratio as well over the duration of this best of 3. I feel like the Dust 2 he performed well, but Overpass not quite as much. So he does have his work cut out for him. And it may all be fun and games, Scrawny, but you better believe it's serious business for these two teams. This is the decider matchup. Plenty on the line to play for. Some great teams waiting for them in the playoffs, the likes of Furia and Liquid.
DreamHack Open Summer 2020, brought to you by our beloved sponsors, but brought to you for the beloved fans.
Wait, just a few steps away. And TeamOne will be going in for a force. Interestingly, they go for Deagles. We did see them have pretty decent follow-up. No, the grenade denies him. The shrapnel shreds and rips Cloud9 into a 9-8 lead. Drop down into their depth. BRT gets one, but it's only going to be one. And now it's up to Pacer. 1v4 has claimed already the 1D. But are there going to be more to...
It's a small lead, but it's a start. Of course, it's just the beginning for this defense here. You know, I sing the praise of Cloud9 when it comes to their A entries on the T half of train. I think we saw that weaponized across the first 15. Now, can they hang on to it once TeamOne starts Ronic? His 1 kill in the round as Cloud9 find double digits first. But here is what we all want, Vince. We got guns.
Oh, yeah. Plenty of guns. I'd like to make a correction as well. MOTM actually performed on Overpass. It was Dust 2 where he had a bit of an off one. It looks like we may have a technical issue here. There's 3 players in spawn. Right, yeah, we've just been confirmed. There is a tech issue in play at the moment, unfortunately. So hopefully, momentarily, we'll be back into the action. But just gives us a chance to kind of simmer on this game, Scrawny. It's been a real back and forth affair. We thought coming into today, before we got into the first round, that we expected it to be a close one. We thought it could go the full 3 maps. It has lived up to that. And really, at this point, it just is anybody's game. Even have
this trophy,
the DreamHack Open Virtual Edition.
Yeah, it looks way better in IRL. I'm telling you.
Right,
Trust me. Yeah. Trust me. It's worth hoisting. That thing looks like more like a door stopper.
I thought it was a bin at first, I'm not going to lie. You know, that paper plane analogy, I was expecting a terrorist to just walk by and drop it in there. Just walk off.
Congratulations, you win a pile of trash. Now, we've got a good chunk of change on the line here at DreamHack Open Summer, especially for a team like TeamOne that's really kind of looking to make a mark. You know, it's all good chasing the dream, but money talks. So we welcome everybody's patience. Hope you guys are all having a good day. I'm sorry if I didn't read your name out loud. Don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I play no favorites.
That's what they get for not being active in chat, Scrawny. They've only got themselves to blame.
Liz, don't rile them up, Vince. Don't rile them up. You settle right back down. I'm looking at you.
Just having a look over at the stats for the entire map here, just while we have a little bit of downtime. We did ask some questions of Floppy. You know, we said that he is an exceptionally good player, huge talent in NA. You can see the game is about to go live again. Currently, in this entire best of 3, not counting train, 52 and 45 with a 1.23 rating. 80 ADR. He certainly has stepped up. He is top by a margin with Barton behind him.
Yep. In terms of the 2019 top 20 players, Floppy was the only American listed by his fellow players as a potential top 20 candidate for this year. So not just singing the praise of his fans, but also his colleagues and his competitors, therefore his opposition. No op in play for either team here. Round 19 features lots of weapons. We're right back on track. Floppy early damage, tries to creep in. Barton shuts him down, but he's not alone. There's 2 other defenders here in position, and Barton nearly caught throwing that Molotov by OC, but he walks back, looks to hang on to the 3 versus 4. In the meantime, that A site collapses. Sonic gets wrecked as TeamOne redirect through ladder room and into the depths of this A site. Now it just boils down to OC and Modem trying to save. A very successful first gun round from the T side of TeamOne.
Yeah, save on the cards. With the economy of Cloud9, they can certainly buy behind this. They can even afford AWPs. And I'd be very surprised if we don't see some of those sniper rifles take shape in what will be the 19th round. In terms of TeamOne, they don't want to chase too hard. Their money is in no position to support that. Some aggressive plays. We expected to see this when the tables turned and we saw the T's occupied by TeamOne. They've done this consistently, regardless of their adversaries. Just see Cloud9 up in flames for a second there. MOTM caught fire. That was a little bit scary for a moment, but it's okay. The flames have been doused. We move into round 20, and it's time to get back underway.
So, first look was Cloud9 trying to take the fight to the upper box halls. 3 players were up there early. Kind of plays into that weakened A defense where, you know, it's a bit of a coin toss when it comes to holding ladder room with just one guy inside. Especially when he's so outnumbered. Modem's looking to take that position. Floppy into the solo B hold. And I have praise for Floppy as a B defender. Watch to his repositions. He'll play behind the train. He'll play the headshot angle over in the open. Likes to kind of get tricky with the spool up close. But OC, he's going to miss his first shot. Goes back for a second chance and can't connect that one either. Not in terms of the frags. Follows up with the smoke grenade to just ice out TeamOne for the time being. Minute on the clock still. And that forward position not given away. He's replaced himself with a rifle tucked close. So if they want to try and come take this back, they have to get through Modem.
Now, these 2 players up close on A main could be the difference maker, but Floppy is making moves. He's moving into position. There's one. Can he get out of there alive? He can. 2 kills go the way of Cloud9 to open up the round with 35 seconds left. TeamOne have no other options available. They've lost a large chunk of their arsenal, of their firepower. And now they look to try and pivot their way through A main, but OC has the perfect play in MOTM. They bait into his position, still comes out second best. Pacer with a fast entry frag, but OC's position is far too powerful. Cloud9 11-9 in the lead, keeping themselves alive with a couple plays, and a tactical timeout is called to try and repel the CT defense.
They have reserved all 4 of their timeouts for this T side. So if things get difficult, expect TeamOne to just try and cool off, recompose. But it's not going to be the best of buys if they decide to go in with it. Some limitations to be had. We'll let them make their decisions as we look back to what Cloud9 just pulled out of the hat. Floppy on the B site, alone. Goes into the peak, drops Barton first and foremost. And I feel like if you're Cloud9 right now, any time you kill Barton, you can almost have half a sigh of relief. Not the full thing, because the rest of the team's still alive and kicking, but he has 22 and 12. And that is an issue moving forward for Cloud9 in the sense that he's rocking their heads, and for TeamOne, because he's not going to be a successful one-man army. Who steps up behind him? Could be Maluk. He starts this one off with the op shot into OC, and then Mobs wastes 0 time peeking into Sonic. A compromised A site that TeamOne could have looked to sink their teeth into. But instead, they double back.
Can feel the tension on the players. Understandably, 3rd decisive map. 1 team eliminated, 1 team presses forward. So close. Both teams will feel like they could have actually finished this series 2-0. They had chances, they had opportunities. And Cloud9 now in a spot of bother. Going to be stacking on B side as 3. Do they get pressed into from TeamOne? The play here is pretty simple. If B site gets executed, they're in prime position to win the round. If TeamOne decide that they're going to go A because they get cold feet, they've got Molbs already making moves out on A site by mind. And he'll be calling this is clear. They may pivot onto it as a result. I wasn't sure if maybe they'd use him as a late look to get into B from behind and try and do some damage. He may still do that after all. And Barton, in the meanwhile, throws a molly onto the side, but they're going to be planting A. This round goes the way of TeamOne. And now Cloud9's mission is simple. Save these weapons, give yourself a chance to have another buy in the next round. At range, Mob's tapping and fragging JT. And meanwhile, Barton pushing down the ramp. Mobs is going to die, but Barton in a good enough position will look good to get the first and may even clean this up onto MOTM. The economy of TeamOne, not ideal. If they lose any more players, this could do more harm than good. As Cloud9 should have enough to buy again, and Test has gone down, but so will MOTM. And we're in a very interesting position, economically speaking, where both teams feeling this thing.
Nice. And then Cloud9 take their first timeout. We have 8 timeouts. 8 timeouts. 8 timeouts for one half, Vince. So get used to this, because again, with everything on the line, we're now at the elimination game. We're now on map 3. We're in the second half. The score is within 1. The economy's flimsy. Like, everything is coming together to give us this crescendo of an awesome final map, final half. But yes, the timeouts will be an aspect of this. And I'm okay with that. Kind of builds the tension. Am I the only one getting a little hot? Vince, we've got MP9s picked up between Sonic and Modem, so again, it's not perfect, the economy on either side. But yes, that risk was taken by TeamOne to net them this situation. Had they lost more, then going forward, it could turn on their head. But let's see if Cloud9 are dead in the water with this lackluster buy. Sonic, MP9, decides to get aggressive. He splashed into T-Con and immediately turned back the other way. Pesa could try and punish off of this, look to create space off the first kill, but he has to ask himself, is this a trap? Is that some sort of a bait, an easy opening kill? But no, there is only JT with a P250 left on this A bomb site. OC is going to start moving the op over through all the way onto his spawn. JT takes to the top of the train. He sees multiple enemies. Now the counter-terrorists have to scramble because they know the A site's about to get hit, and there is nothing here to stop them. Vince, they have to save. And the question remains, will they be given the chance by TeamOne?
They may be given the chance because they're in a similar position to last round. There is going to be MOTM that's making moves around the back of A main. He may come head-to-head with Maluk momentarily, and keep in mind that is an AWP. Meanwhile, OC, other side of the map on the CT stairs, dispatching of PRT. Now, we already know the A site is going to be torched to the ground. That is undeniable. TeamOne win this. It's 11-11. But as you say, now it's all about how many weapons can they hold on to. Excellent news. Floppy is going to get some revenge for OC and pick up his AWP. Oh, missing a shot that probably should have connected, and it may punish him. Oh, how's that not a kill? He's been robbed of that frag. That looked dead on. He did tag Pacer, but it must have been a leg shot. And that's going to cost them the AWP. That could be huge.
Massive. Not a could be, massive. Now they're just left with that MP9. You've seen Cloud9 evaporate the hopes of TeamOne with lesser buys. We saw it a couple times on Overpass. If I saw an AWP alongside that MP9, I'd be a little more hesitant. I am convinced that TeamOne take the lead off of this. And I think they are too. 3 players out from ladder room already, looking to hit this A site quickly. Pesa to the top rope, takes a bunch of damage, but Maluk gives enough cover to keep him still standing. And Cloud9 sent scrambling. 2 to the old bomb, 1 on the Ivy lurk. That one man being Modem with just his MP9. Maybe he survives and plays off of it. A little bit of an injection of cash, perhaps, for the next round, but the other 2 players removed and no kills. Zilch, 0, nada, nothing to show of it for Cloud9. TeamOne, full control.
No casualties means the economy of TeamOne just builds that little bit more. Meaning that even if Cloud9 do get wins from here on out, MOTM's gone down. He would have upgraded anyway, probably to an M4, but it would have allowed them to have more utility. But even if TeamOne do go down, they're going to be able to buy for at least another couple rounds. So that means that Cloud9 have no freebies. They're going to have to fight tooth and nail for each and every scrap, every inch of the map, every single opportunity to maybe convert into a round is going to be a difficult one. And TeamOne will be unrelenting. These guys don't know the meaning of passive. All they know is aggression. And it's lovely to watch, but sometimes it gets them into trouble. And this is where they are going to slow things down a little bit. At least to start off with, these smokes going down. Cloud9 don't have much behind this. 2 smokes and 3 flashbang with no kits. If TeamOne wait out this utility, their late round position is going to be so strong.
Oh my God, if they walk into this, there's 2Ts right there. 2Ts so ready. They didn't even try to flash into that as far as I saw. They just presented their heads on a silver platter and TeamOne feast at the buffet. But now they may have bit off more than they could chew. It's Floppy and he peeks into Maluk. The Opper makes the difference. We talked about the limited utility, but I didn't see it. Maybe I'm wrong, Vince, but it looked like they just walked in thinking they could take it. Maybe there'd be 1 player tucked, but 3 members of TeamOne with guns up. CT's shut down, 13 rounds, trailing by 2, Cloud9 no buy. This is dire.
Dire is certainly the correct word for it. Yeah, they didn't. They had flashbangs. They could have flashed in. Maybe it was a poor read. Maybe they made a call that it was a B hit and they wanted to quickly wrap around the back. I'm not sure what the reason was, but they played themselves into a firing squad. And they weren't firing blanks, let me tell you. Barty straight through into the site's going to get 1. There isn't going to be a second player available because Molbs also dips in. They double dip and they're going to move to 14. JT, though, is going to be able to potentially save this orb, which would be significant. But he's going to get chased down as he lands a leg shot partially through the train onto Molbs. He drops to 6 HP. But again, the round is done. That much is certain. Do you know, I'm a little bit perplexed at this, Scrawny. There was so much time left. I'm a bit surprised that TeamOne didn't delay the bomb plant so they could absolutely guarantee this frag, which they will get anyway, mind you. But a lot of teams will do that. They'll actually delay the bomb plant to allow their teammates to get close enough to make sure they deal with that last pesky CT.
Yeah, you get real greasy. But could have been worth it in the end. Doesn't matter. They got the job done. They cleared the board of Cloud9, who come back in with the rebuy on the double op. Double sniper setup did wonders for TeamOne's defense. Let's see, TeamOne. Oh man, they're just gonna try and smash into that A site. OC affected by the flashbangs, but effective nonetheless. PRT extends and dies. Maluk up high, finds the other Opper. Now it's the man advantage for Cloud9, but they're burning. They're losing HP. They are bleeding. And Barton, it's the 1 versus 2 shut down by JT. He gets the 2K with 7 health, the difference. Cloud9 hang on for at least a little longer. Second pause called by TeamOne. They have a rebuy confirmed and then money in the bank. Oh, baby. This is a good map of Counter-Strike, Vince.
This is the pick of the bunch, isn't it, for today? The other two were close, but not necessarily entertaining, but this has been blow.
What, you don't like 10-3 halves, Vince?
Not particularly, if I'm being honest. I mean, you can have 10-3 halves where there's a bunch of clutches and like it probably should have been closer, but the 10-3 halves we saw earlier were 10-3 halves, you know what I mean? Like they were absolutely 10-3 snooze fest halves. Nothing boring about this. This has been excellent. And TeamOne call their timeout. They, as I said before, going to have plenty of opportunities to buy. Cloud9, double ops in play. And TeamOne, 3 players pushing towards top side of Pop Dog. Bomb has been dropped on its way towards Ivy, so that suggests we're not going to have a fast A hit or any kind of a rush in play. They're going to slow it down again and see what Cloud9 have in store.
Oh, JT. Ouch, the utility hurts. Half his health is gone. A follow-up frag could just blow him into tomorrow. Floppy, dangerous position. That smoke's about to fade. Hopefully somebody either puts another one up or he comes in big with the multi-kill. Oh, Floppy, he's got a big chance. gets the 2 kills. PRT still looks to puncture through. Oh, and Pesa, he just saw Modem. Now, just like that, it's TeamOne back with a man advantage. They come out in control of the situation with the bomb plant. A 15th round about to be secured. Unless Cloud9, with a walking wounded JT, can stop the back of Sonic from being exposed, but the smoke gave cover to Pesa, and his 3 kills, his 23 frags, give TeamOne 3 map match points. Elimination on the line for Cloud9. The revenge match best of 3. The opening game of their group gave TeamOne the edge. They lost the first map when these 2 teams first faced, and the other 2 were blowouts. Absolutely the opposite of what we've had so far. An overtime already on the series, an overpass arguably should have never happened. But hopefully, if you are cheering for the Cloud9 camp, and if you are cheering for exciting CS, this map keeps on giving. Match point times 3. Cloud9's buy not perfect. As you can see, the scout on OC and 4 Fami sprinkled across the board. Timeout called to really let the weight of the situation sink in.
Timeout from Cloud9, and then answered back from TeamOne, who called their own timeout. So both teams realizing the importance, the impetus of what may be coming up in the next 2 minutes of CS. Who would have given TeamOne a realistic chance of making the playoffs? They are currently rated 55 in the world. Cloud9, 22. There is a huge gulf in terms of world rankings, but I think what we've seen from TeamOne, there is not a huge gulf in terms of individual skill. These guys are capable of standing with some of the best that NA has to offer, as we saw in that Furia game. And now Cloud9, with the aforementioned FAMAS on 4 players, gonna have to try and make this work, and they stack A site to kick things off, leaving just Floppy alone on B. We've seen this happen a few times before, and TeamOne, fortunately for Cloud9, aren't going for a fast B play, so they should be able to get away with this for the time being.
They're actually very passive in upper halls, not even giving Floppy the challenge. He extends around the corner, sees nothing. Utility burns at the doorway of ladder room. You can see TeamOne just looking to set the trap. Maluk holding for the Ivy play, and as said, 2 sets of eyes anticipating some kind of a box halls push, but Floppy knows better. As a solo B player, you can take risks, but you cannot offer your life away. And I don't think he's going to. He's just going to stay tucked on that upper shelf. He has 1 player in front of him in Malbs. Playing around with the utility, Floppy, he makes his move, and it pays off so far. Now the rest of his team just has to do their job. It's a 4v4 on the A site. JT able to shut down Pesa and PRT. A 3rd kill from the FAMAS of JT leaves Maluk 1v4. Floppy moves over, so this A site has been bolstered and held successfully. Cloud9 not done yet.
The plot thickens. That looked like it was the best chance for TeamOne to get across the finish line with a very poor buy. But as it stands, they have used and depleted their final timeout. Why not? It always bothers me a little bit. I always get a little bit tilted when I see teams in situations like this and they don't use their timeouts. They're there for a reason. Use them. Especially if you're in these close-knit, very tense, atmospheric games. These are the moments that can make or break a tournament, make or break a round, a match. So why not use them all? However, Cloud9 now, after bypassing a very rocky buy, have a much better one available. 2 AKs, 2 M4s alongside the AWP of OC. TeamOne, of course, can come straight back in and replenish all those fallen weapons. But Barton continues to stride forward. 29 frags to his name, 1 shy of the 30, and he has 7 assists on top of it. And this time they're going to mix up the pace. Headed towards B much quicker with 2 players going into Ivy. Maybe for a late flank, but a good smoke has been deployed from Cloud9, from Floppy. And that's going to keep the T's at bay for at least a little bit longer. and may allow some of those CTs to now navigate their way from A to B to bolster up the defense.
Yeah, they burn a Molotov towards the edge where Floppy likes to play. You know, they don't want to fall victim to that delayed upper peak. See, remember I was listing off what Floppy does on the B site, Vince? This is one of those moments he's going to look to get a little bit more creative. Hanging out behind the spools. Two players push past him. He turns towards ramp first, cuts off the bomb carrier, and almost gets a second kill. But Barton, he gives the cover that they needed, and he finds the head of Sonic. Man advantage, bomb not yet planted, but Barton could go big as he resides in CT spawn.
Oh. He tried to reside. Instead, he was just pummeled. And Molb's up close, going to use that smoke to his advantage. OC, the other side of the smoke, once that clears, he could be a goner. Molb's now going to go through. He's heard the shot rattle out. He's biding his time. He's waiting. This is so patient. He's 17-year-old with this much clarity and this much confidence in his own ability in a 1 versus 3. Now knows they're sticking the sight. He has to nade back in again, but he goes down to the hands of JT. You could see a way in which that could work out, and it so nearly did for the Guatemalan, but instead, Cloud9 claw themselves one step closer to overtime.
Oh my God. Hindsight's 2020. Maybe he pulls the trigger quicker if he knows it unfolds like that. But I mean, he loses a player just as the smoke fades next to OC. Had that frag grenade actually found JT with the damage it did to Modem, then JT would have died and Modem could have been the bomb plant. Oh my, so incredibly close. So incredibly close, but you hit it. 17 years old, round 29, one of the biggest matches of his life. And he's just chilling, Vince, not pulling triggers. Not yet, but they're gonna have to pull the trigger on this 30th round or they are giving Cloud9 a chance that they do not want to. Overtime just 1 round away. And in a series, it's been averaging basically 30 rounds per map. We go the distance. And I don't mean that in any bad way. Sonic, op up, limited weaponry. That's really, to me, the downfall of TeamOne here in the 30th. Sonic uses his face to block a bit of a smoke, hopes to create a gap within it all. OC, patient, holding for the peak, and he nails the first shot, looks for the second. Barton gets him. There's that second sniper now down. The pistols able to push forward, and it's all paying off. It is JT or TeamOne. Move on, eliminating Cloud9. They see an open road and they exit. They take that bomb and they dip out of dodge, ducking to the B bomb site instead. Malbs on just such little health has to go patiently, passively deep in CT. JT right on the cusp of it. He walks out, back turned. If he had just turned, he would have seen Malbs, but Malbs doesn't see him. And that means TeamOne are none the wiser. He doesn't have a smoke to cover bomb, but he does have the kit to try and defuse through. PRT falls back with that op and 100 health, and TeamOne using the spawn against him. JT feeling desperate for an opening, and nobody's gonna give it to him. He gets the 1 peek, gets the first kill. PRT just needs to land the shot, but time is of the essence. JT jumps back on. It's gonna come close, but it doesn't matter. TeamOne take the series.
Oh, Scrawny, what a match we've just watched there. TeamOne, congratulations. Heavy underdogs coming into this tournament. Most people would have thought they were just here to make up the numbers. They shouldn't have even been here in the first place. They were here because other teams dropped out, and yet they make it to the playoffs. What an incredible story. So deserved. I love the fact that I've got a chance to see players that I'd never seen play CS before, and I come out absolutely fans of them. I want to see what Mobs, I want to see what Barton do in the future.
And that's it. The future's near, Vince. They have more games and better opponents ahead of them. They took a map off Furia. I mean, the 2 BO3 victories over Cloud9 are what keeps them alive in the tournament. But knowing that they can somehow go toe-to-toe with the favorites for the finals means that this isn't going to be one of those duds in the playoffs. I don't think TeamOne are done turning heads just yet. And that really, really excites me. I'm sure you guys are all in line. What an awesome series. What an excellent treat. But farewell, Cloud9. Back to the drawing board for the North American and South African mix. We've got our analysts after the break to unpack that action-packed adventure that we just had on Train.